How's it going, fam? It's Erica with Not Your Average EDC, and today we are going to do the first impressions of this little guy, the Spyderco Chapparal. This one is in, come on, focus. It's in CTS XHP, but I don't think that's really picking it up. This is a knife that was sent over for just some first impressions and testing and stuff. From my friend Lewis. I asked him if I could use his name on the channel and he said yes. So, Lewis, thank you for sending this over. I've been using this for like almost 2 weeks now, I think. And I just wanted to record my first impressions of it. And if I think it would be something worth looking into for you, for a kind of like small, backup knife, a, you know, fifth pocket knife. It's really small. So let's just go over kind of how small this is. I have a Benchmade mini grip here, which we all know is very small, and it's kind of even smaller than a mini grip, maybe by a hair. And it's also way thinner. So this thing is like paper thin, tiny little nugget of a knife. But it has a lot of really cool kind of like features that make it definitely worth looking into. And I mean, if you don't do too much, if you're not, you know, gonna like hard use your knives, this could very easily be like your one knife for the day. So first off, tiny little thin package. I mean, thin. And you really don't understand how thin it is until you have one in hand. This is one of the thinnest knives I've ever even carried. We have the deep carry pocket clip, the wire one, bidirectional FRN texturing, and a super thin, slicey, typical Spyderco blade. I actually really like how they did this one. They kind of like rounded off the corners on everything, like even the lock bar is a little bit rounded. A lot of attention to detail went into this. All of this is rounded off. The whole thing is just like very comfortable. I mean, it melts right into my hand. It's really cozy. For me, I really do think it's kind of like a mini version of the Sage 5 lightweight, which I have right here. The only difference is the lock style. So this is a back lock. This is a compression lock, but aside from that, I really do feel that this is a mini version in terms of the blade shape, the handle ergonomics, the forward choil, even the deep carry pocket clip, the wire pocket clip. That's what this had. I just replaced it with a Lynch clip. Same texturing. Literally, this is the Sage 5 lightweight, but a baby version with a different lock, and that's it. So that's kind of cool because the Sage 5 lightweight it's not a big knife at all. For me, it's pretty perfect, actually. But I have heard people say that it's a little too big for them. And I think it's just because there's like a lot of handle that comes with the Sage 5 series. And if you're looking for kind of like this design and this package, but just smaller, the Chapparal is literally exactly that. I really like the blade shape of this one. I love how thin and slicey it is. This is going to be perfect for most people for EDC because it's not perfect for me. It's a little too small. It's a little too thin. And I just use my knives for things that I probably shouldn't really. And I wouldn't want to put this through those tasks. But for people opening packages and cutting apples at lunch, this is literally, this was made for you. 100% this was made for you. This is a fantastic little knife. We have zero blade play side to side, zero blade play up and down, really solid lockup. The action on it is extremely smooth for a lock back. I mean, it is just buttery smooth. And I know that this isn't really like dropping here. There we go. I'm trying to stay in frame. But the action, it does not even feel like a lock back. It's very smooth. And My Native 5 lightweights are very smooth in my opinion. This is 10 times smoother than that. I mean, it's really silky action. So that's great. Centering is flawless. Oh, come on. Hope you guys can see that. It's perfect. Like I said, the texturing is fantastic. This is just a really cool little knife in a tiny package. I can't find a single thing wrong with this from the get-go. And, you know, this is not a review in any sense. This is literally just my first impressions, and if I think this is worth looking into, which I really do. If I had all the money in the world, I would be getting myself one of these, just for fun, you know, just as a cute little backup knife. In my everyday use, it's not really for me, but if I could have whatever the fuck I wanted in the world, I would actually take one of these. It's really neat. The steel, I don't have a ton of experience with. I did not sharpen this, and I just used it lightly, and I didn't want to sharpen it or anything because it's not my knife, and I didn't get permission to sharpen it. But I will say, it arrived razor sharp. I could tell it wasn't used. Razor sharp, and it's still razor sharp. The edge is super toothy and super crisp and just a literal razor blade. The only experience that I have with CTS XHP is from Jacob Creates, the little chickadee. I had one in that steel. I sold it, but when I was using his version, it was a little glassy for me, and the toughness was there. It was a very tough steel, but it was just a little glassy, and I wasn't like the biggest fan of it. But this feels a little different. In use, this one just felt like a little toothier, and so maybe the heat treat is different, who knows? But this was like my second experience with XHP, and I feel that this Spyderco one is maybe a little better than the one that I used before. So that's pretty cool. Seems to be stainless. Like I was using this for cutting up produce and stuff for the dogs, and it definitely sat in some juices for a little bit and stuff. There's nothing on it. It's definitely corrosion resistant. But I literally can't think of a single thing that I would change about this. I mean, it seems like it was just built for that, a light use little backup knife or little EDC knife. It is really fantastic. The ergonomics are phenomenal on it, and I just can't get over how thin this is. Like if you are into geometry cuts, which it does, if you kind of live by that, this is a little shredder, guys. This is a really cool little knife. So yeah, I think it's definitely worth looking into. I will say I feel that all of the Spyderco knives that are in FRN tend to be overpriced. I'm unaware of what this is going for right now, but if I were to say how much this is worth, I would not put this above like $110 or $120, but I guarantee it's probably at least $150. Like I said, I don't know the price, but I would only pay like $110 or $120 just because you're getting a phenomenal package, but there's not much to it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a tiny little lightweight knife, but I guarantee it's probably going for at least $150, which I'm not like the biggest fan of. But honestly, all of the Spyderco knives are overpriced in my opinion. I mean, at this point, I'm paying like $123 for like a Delica. They're just inflated. But if you have that type of money and you want a really cool little perfect backup knife or light use EDC knife, definitely check this one out. It is very cool. I have nothing bad to say about this at all. Maybe the pocket clip. These tend to bend around a lot. I can actually tell this one bent a little bit in my use. But that has nothing to do with this model because any of the deep carry wire clips, they just kind of are flimsy and they bend around. So that has nothing to do with this model. So in terms of this model, I would not change anything about it. It is fantastic. So thank you, Lewis, for sending this along for first impressions. I will get this mailed out to you today if you are watching. Thank you guys so much for the support on the channel. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys. I'm going to try to film some camper stuff today and hopefully get that uploaded tonight for you guys. Go use your shit, learn how to sharpen your knives, and I will see you on the next video. Love you all.